Welcome back to another spill drop tutorial. Today I'm going to be revisiting our vertical farm base design. My previous version of this build utilized half-high planter stacking, which has been patched out of Rust in a recent update. As such, we're going to be revisiting the vertical farm with a slightly different layout. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into it. At this point, you have a pretty solid tier 1 base. You have a functional airlock here by opening this double door to block this single door frame here. This sort of loot room is a pretty good way to stash your loot initially, though it will be difficult to reach that second large box on the upper shelf while you have just these double doors. When you can upgrade to a garage door, you may want to get a garage door in this slot, so you'll be able to jump up to that second shelf and access the box behind this small box here. Additionally, you can fill out these triangles however you see fit. I've included a large battery and a furnace pod here, so that way I can still operate out of this base in case my primary base gets raided. To lay out the core, I recommend using the vertical barrels if you have access to the Frontier DLC skin pack. They work just the same as large boxes but have a slightly different hitbox than those larger boxes, allowing you to fit more on this shell. Now, to lay out your primary loot room, I recommend pulling the door off so that you can access this a little more easily. And that's a pretty effective loot room here. You can access all 5 of these upper boxes and all 4 of these lower boxes very easily with quite a lot of ability to navigate. Now you're not going to be pushing and fighting for space in here even if you have a duo or a trio to worry about. Now in these gaps here you can have workbenches or additional spawn points, whatever you see fit to add. Now getting to the farm portion of today's video, I'm going to go ahead and add some windows on either side here, and then wall frames the rest of the way around. Alright, we have our first farm floor here. We're going to want to place our planter boxes. Typically, these triangular planter boxes will be blocked in their standard snapping location due to the shop front here. As you can see, it's kind of overlapping in that back corner. What you can do to get out of that auto snapping system we have here is hold shift while you're going to place this box. That will allow you to break the snapping and place it however you like. I recommend overlapping as many of these boxes as you can with the center squares that we're standing on now. That way, water and light that are going to be mounted directly above these squares will reach more of these boxes more easily. It helps to provide a little bit of a lip here for when you climb up your ladder and come in this doorway. That way you can just walk straight up onto the planter box instead of getting blocked by the upper part of this double door frame. I recommend placing your lights and sprinklers above these planter boxes as centrally located as you can. It's not perfectly symmetrical, so I recommend skewing the placement of the lights and the sprinkler a little bit more towards this triangle. You will need 2 lights for this first farm floor and just 1 light for the upper floors. That should provide water and light for all of the planter boxes on this floor. At this point, you can continue to go higher if you wish, though stability will become an issue the higher up that you go. I'm going to go ahead and provide a little bit of a shooting floor here. Nothing too crazy, just keep it nice and simple. That way, if you need to defend your primary base, or even just defend your little farm base from an online raid, you'll have a little bit of a peek down opportunity on this floor. Once you've got everything in place, you're going to want to connect any water catchers that you've got set up on the roof to these water barrels here, and then down into these sprinklers that are set up for each of the farming floors. You'll also want to take the power off of the battery and run it into the lights that we set up for each of the farming floors as well, to make sure that your plants have plenty of water and light. As you upgrade and evolve, you can add ladder hatches into each of these triangular gaps that have regular ladders to increase the security of your base and improve mobility. Adding a ladder hatch here also creates an additional airlock for your front door. So you can see out through the ladder quite easily, but no one will be able to get in and past this ladder as long as you have it open and locked like so. The Verticali-Tea 2 is complete. It looks beautiful. If you give this base a try, let me know how it treated you and any issues you may have had with the build so that I can take a look and solve any problems where they may arise. This is a very simple base design. I have a couple of variants that are much more complicated, so I'm going to show you a variant here that's very different in a lot of ways, but still uses the same basic DNA of the original Verticali-Tea farm and this version, the Verticali-Tea 2. So that gives you an idea of different ways that you can customize this floor plan to give you more utility, or to even turn this tea farm base into your main base, depending on what you need. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below, and if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to the Spill Drop channel. We've recently hit 1,500 subscribers. We're hoping to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. I believe we can do it, but I do need your help to make that dream a reality. So please feel free to share these videos with any friends who might need a little bit of extra help or an idea of where to start their next build. This has been your friend Spilldrop with another base tutorial video, and I will catch you in the next one.